say everybody's good at something. Me? I talk to fish. That's how I met my friend Storm. He's always there when I need a lift. Some people think that makes me a joke, but I don't care. You know why? Because I'm also good at something else. And that's breaking heads.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good. So either they can't hear me, or we're frozen.
Oh, now I can hear you.
I got total dead. Didn't we have this issue last week?
Yes, this is the same issue we had last week.
Oh, well, I'm glad I fixed it then.
I mean, I sort of heard the opening, but then you were not there. Did you do was I supposed to say the greater good?
Yes.
Oh, the greater good.
Yes, yeah. Last week I missed it too.
All right. So what I'm understanding is that when the music is playing, you can't hear me at all.
Right.
No.
Interesting. All right. So
And it also when one of us talks, your sound immediately goes down. It's something with your floor level.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the setting in StreamYard.
It's through StreamYard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing is that StreamYard only offers two options, really: echo cancellation, reduce mic background noise, and automatically adjust mic volume, which I don't want. That's it. That's all it does. So I have no other options other than that. So
the automatic adjust microphone level wasn't checked.
No, I never have that checked because that's what I want. I want control over that. Huh. So they probably added that stupid feature in to make you pay for their updated. Their Prime version, so you have more control. Well, okay. With all that being said, hey guys, welcome to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
Here we go. I knew there was going to be some kind of water theme there.
You have to.
Yeah, I'll just have to change out to the intro. It's fine. We'll make it work. This is episode 469. 469. And tonight we're talking about Aquaman 2. That's right. We are in the beginnings of DC March. The March to DC. Not District of Columbia, but Detective Comics. We are exploring the DC extended universe for the greater good. So here we are.
Whether you like it or not.
That's right. These guys have finally said, you know what, Sean, we're tired of you complaining about DC movies. We're going to make you watch the fun ones that have come out recently. The ones that, no, I don't know. Maybe you never said that, but you know, the list that we have included, I think you all have said, you guys, you should like this one. Like everyone is like, oh yeah, Shazam 2. Yeah, you Sean, you like that a little bit. And Blue Beetle, yeah, you'll like that. So we'll see how
that was not said about this movie.
No.
We were supposed to do originally the Batman,
right? And
then when it became streaming, Andrew, you said, well, let's do this because none of us had seen it yet.
Right. Yeah.
And I think all of us had already seen the Batman. So,
right.
And I think actually this is an appropriate movie for this month because they all feel kind of like, well, so, I mean, I don't know, but like based off of what I've seen, they're all kind of feel like this movie, like more Marvel-y than the DC, you know, light and with quips and jokes and things. So we'll see. Anyway, with that all having been said, I am Sean, already your host, your sea captain, your sea king, And joining me tonight is Andrew. Holy bad CGI Kidman face, Jemison.
Does that, if you're the Sea King, does that make us seamen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, gross.
Yeah, it's nasty.
That's right. And Sam,
What?
the underwater scenes from Harry Potter 4 look better than this movie, Vector.
Yeah, I am not sure what's going on with DC and their CGI department, but it's been pretty bad as far as I can tell lately.
It's rough.
With the new stuff. But Sean, if I was going to kill you in any way, shape, or form in this movie, I would definitely feed you to a carnivorous grasshopper.
Oh, a giant locust.
Yeah,
that apparently.
I thought you were going to say you were just going to make him watch this movie again.
Well, that too. I mean, we certainly could do that.
We'll see. We'll see how things land on this, because just off of those kind of few comments, I can kind of tell that Andrew loved this film. So we'll see. And now that Sam's face has receded into his background, I can actually see what your background is. That's really funny and mean.
I don't know if anybody else grew up in the 80s in Florida, but we had to definitely cut our our 6-packs to make sure that the turtles didn't choke. So, or apparently Aquaman.
We did too. In fact, about 5 or 6 years ago, we were with my parents, and my wife Sarah was doing that. I think she was cutting the rings, and my mom says, "What are you doing?" And she said, "This is something that my generation was ingrained in us, that we have to do this to save the fish, because
we don't want the ducks to get them caught around their necks. And
somehow these things always end up in the ocean, and they are bad." So, yeah, I just love how he's like handcuffed. All right, so let's pull up a giant sea couch into this movie and dive again is an appropriate word there. So yeah, Aquaman 2. So I did see the first Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
And I liked it. Okay, it was fine. It was. We've all had many conversations about how DC kind of did things backwards, right? Like they gave us Superman, and then the next film was Superman versus Batman, right? Like we don't have any kind of support to Batman. He's not related to the Dark Knight. This is a totally different. This is a Batman that's been doing it for 20 years. That's already had Robin a part of his life, and then was murdered by the Joker. Like that's all happened. And so then we get that one, and then the next movie is the big Justice League team up, and then they start parsing out individual movies, which was I think Wonder Woman was in there too.
Yeah, it was in there somewhere.
I can't remember before Justice League or after.
It was before. Yeah.
Okay, it was before. Okay, but they didn't do like what Marvel did. Marvel said, "Hey, we're going to do a bunch of individual movies and then do our team up." So, anyway,
they didn't make us care about the characters first before. Justice League.
Yeah,
they depended on the fact that a lot of people
knew them.
We already know them, and we already care about them.
That's true, and maybe that is more true because like none of us knew much. I mean, did we know anything about Iron Man? Like that? Not really.
Not really. No.
Like he was like a tertiary character in Marvel, and all of a sudden now he's one of the biggest stars in the world. So
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, let's dive into this movie. So 5-word reviews, Andrew. Oh, first, tell us, what is Aquaman 2?
Well, Black Manta seeks revenge on Aquaman for his father's death. Wielding the Black Trident's power, he becomes a formidable foe. To defend Atlantis, Aquaman forges an alliance with his imprisoned brother. They must protect the kingdom. And that's very choppy. I don't know who wrote that, but doesn't flow very well. Obviously, the people that wrote that were the same people that wrote the dialogue for this movie.
Oh,
Sorry.
You're not wrong, buddy.
So yeah, there it is. Now we can dive into the 5-word reviews.
Yeah, let's do some 5-word reviews. Sam, you go first.
All right, I only have one on this one today, and let me pull it up here, and that is Wild Wild West meets SpongeBob. This movie, I liked the first Aquaman. I enjoyed it. It introduced us to an interesting world. It had different aspects of it that was fun. There felt like there were stakes. This movie felt like one long headache fight scene / really bad TV movie, daytime TV show. It's really hard to describe how bad this movie was to me. The writing is atrocious in here. The directorial choices that Juan does when he's doling out narrative and doling out exposition is blundering and brutally, it treats us like idiots.
Yeah.
The CGI is laughably bad in a lot of parts of this. When the hair is so distracting that you can't take the character seriously, it's bad. Jason Momoa, thank you. Jason Momoa, yeah, I don't want to anger that guy. Feels totally out of place in this movie. I don't know exactly what he was trying to do with the character. You've got Batman who broods, right? You've got Superman who's Clark Kent, the all-around good guy. You've got the quirky little Flash, and Aquaman. Is he supposed to be the comic relief? I mean, I don't understand what. It was just dumb, and this whole movie. Where was there any time in this movie where you felt like he was in danger? I certainly didn't feel like it. All right, he's overpowered in this thing. You never felt like he was going to lose the day. They go from tossing or pushing over a trillion-ton stone statue to having a hard time swinging a chain. It's I didn't understand his powers. I didn't understand what he could take in terms of, what could have killed him. Is he Superman? Is he completely capable of withstanding all attacks? There was no stakes here, folks. And the music was bad because it just kept going. There was no time to breathe in this movie. There was no time for character development. There was no time to really get to know any of the characters. The scientist guy was dumb. Even the baby. I hope you guys noticed when the Lost Kingdom was collapsing all around them. Aquaman could care less about his baby and his wife, right? He totally leaves them behind as he's swimming out of it. Meanwhile, she's dealing with the baby in a whole nother point. I'm just so frustrated with this movie because I just spent, was it 2.5 hours?
It's just
in a comically bad DC movie. This to me is probably the worst one I've seen yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
It makes me angry because there are things I've trashed it. I've pretty much kicked the dog while it's down here. There are some aspects of this Aquaman that could have been really cool. I love the design. I love the retro 50s style machinery that Mantis has. Yeah, that steampunk look.
Yeah.
But that's where I got the Wild Wild West from. That whole hammerhead sub kind of reminded me of the giant spider a wee bit. And but I just they beat you over the head with the global warming thing. And you guys know I'm not one of these, anti-woke, all that sort of stupid stuff. Come on. It was a little much. Just a little much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much my review of this movie is don't waste your time. This is bad.
So you mentioned the director and the directorial choices and stuff. So the director is James Wan, who you mentioned. If that name sounds familiar, that's because he did Saw, and Insidious, The Conjuring, Insidious 2, and then a couple of the Fast and Furious movies, The Conjuring 2, Aquaman, Malignant, and Aquaman 2. And we've seen the 2 Conjuring movies. And did we do Saw for the podcast? I know I've seen it, but I don't know if we did it.
I've seen it a bunch. Yeah.
So those movies, Saw and the 2 Conjuring movies, are heavy dialogue, right?
And there were some clunky parts in those, but they weren't overtly clunky.
No, you're not wrong. I think I don't remember Saw being really all that clunky. I remember kind of being on the edge of my seat with Saw kind of the whole time. And same thing with The Conjuring. Like the first Conjuring it had some really good scary moments, but it's a slow burn. It's a slow build, and this movie is certainly not that. You can't really have a slow burn with a comic book movie. I mean, the Batman, I guess, has a little bit of a slow burn. I mean, even The Dark Knight has like slow burn moments, but then the stove gets kicked on pretty high for some scenes too. So, I think I'll fight you though, Sam, on worst DC movie. Now, I assume you mean DCEU movies.
Okay, yeah. Of all the ones, yeah.
Because I'm gonna assume we're gonna stick to the 13 whatever the DCEU movies, which now are officially done. Like they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is being the last one, which seems like a waste, I guess, a little bit. I mean, I guess
they fumbled the ball.
I mean, and not everything is gonna has to be a 20-something film franchise like the MCU.
Yeah.
Right? That might be a little unfair, but and I'm just gonna run down them real quick, just for people listening that aren't, DCEU, DC Detective Comics EU Extended Universe, just to where we're all there. Started with Man of Steel, and then Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, the first one with Will Smith, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 2, Zack Snyder's Justice League, The Suicide Squad, Black Adam, Shazam 2, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman 2. So I would argue the first Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman 2 are worse movies than this.
Oh, no. I disagree.
I'd watch those any day before this.
Yep. I would. They at least have more of a story to it. They've got, no. I disagree.
And I haven't done my 5 order, and I haven't really talked about this movie yet, but I would rather watch this again than any of Wonder Woman 2.
Huh.
I dislike that movie. So the plane scene alone in Wonder Woman 2 makes this movie, it elevates this movie, in my opinion. But that's just me, and that's fine. Andrew, what you got?
I've got 2 5-word reviews. The first one is some things are better left unseen. And the second one is this movie is not good. That's my review. I have to wholeheartedly agree with Sam. This, in my opinion, is the worst DCEU movie out there. I feel like it was all over the place. I watched this in 2 halves. I watched about an hour of it until he releases his brother, and it's time for the buddy cop team up segment of the movie. And then I watched the other half. And honestly, the second half was a little bit better than the first. But when I say a little better, I mean a little better. Martin Short, I mean, when you're just, I feel like we're phoning in things in this movie a lot. And we've mentioned the CGI. When we saw The Flash, there was bad CGI in that movie, and they said that it was done that way on purpose.
It was a directorial decision, yeah,
right, to make it seem more dreamlike or whatever.
No,
and I didn't buy it then, but this is bad CGI. I mean, just all over the place, and it seemed like video game-esque in some cases. Yep. And I mean, I understand that you're not going to get somebody on a giant seahorse flying through the sky. That's not going to happen without CGI. But something has to happen to make this more tolerable. I don't know. But even for me, even the steampunk type, equipment that they find. First of all, I don't like how we just happened upon all this technology and we got it to work. It's good. And now we understand how to use it all. And, it's just like the makeup of it as well, like the bridge of the hammerhead shark submarine. There's one chair in the middle and empty space. It's like a warehouse on either side.
In the history, like there are boats smaller than that bridge.
Yeah.
Like Navy. Yeah, it was huge.
And I don't know. I just felt like it's all over the place. Dolph Lundgren he is not a good actor in this movie, and his CGI. You mentioned Nicole Kidman. His is, I think, worse than hers. And the suits here, I think back to Ryan Reynolds in the Green Lantern movie. The suits that they're wearing, all of them are CGI for the most part, especially when they're underwater. I mean, there are some practical suits that they're wearing at some points, but a lot of them are CGI and they're terrible. I mean, there's not much redeeming quality. There were a few moments. I won't even say I chuckled, but there was a few moments where I grinned a little bit at some funny things, funny-ish things. And, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I loved, well, I won't say loved, but I really liked the first Aquaman movie.
Yep.
That it told.
It was an adventure, right? It
was, yeah. And but this one, it just, I don't know. It felt like we made a sequel just to make a sequel.
It didn't go anywhere.
It didn't.
What character arc did we see in this?
Well, the brother. The brother.
Yeah, but if you think back to the first Aquaman, I don't see him being a redeemable character, like coming back from where he was before, and then all of a sudden, in this movie, they were best friends.
Refined. Yeah.
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 And there's wasted characters in this movie. There are too many characters so that you don't, like the little squid thing, the whatever they call it, the octopus guy.
Topo.
Right?
Topo?
Yeah. He could have been used as
he would have been great.
Some more comic relief.
Yeah.
And could have been used as, a kind of a super dog or some sort of some sort of pet with superpowers that could help, or not even superpowers, but technology that he could fight with. I don't know. There's so many things in this that I felt like they got wrong. I just couldn't enjoy it.
Forced. A lot of it felt absolutely forced. And
Yeah.
I was just looking through funny pictures of Aquaman, and I see the cockroach. It's not even funny. It's just dumb. And the scene in the credits was just dumb. It just
It was a gag, right? It's a brother playing a prank on a brother that's naive. Hey, we eat roaches, and he eats it. Oh, it's not bad. And like that part grossed out my wife, and she's like, "Oh my god, did he eat it?" And I said, "Yeah." But it was just a big dumb CGI cockroach. So like, I don't even know why it bothered her.
Yeah,
because it looked dumb in CGI, the cockroach. Because cockroaches aren't the size of my hand. Well, maybe not. Maybe they are in Florida, but like I don't know. Okay. My turn, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did 2 5-word reviews, though I think one of them's actually 6 words. So I'm actually taking from Andrew's. So my second, my first one is Momoa is a cool dude. I think Jason Momoa is just a cool dude. And halfway through the movie, I realized that basically it felt like James Wan said, "Hey, just be Robert Downey Jr."
Yeah.
There's because he does a lot of pop culture references, which is what Tony Stark does. He calls Thor Point Break, and like there's like those little quips throughout the movie. Like he's quipping the whole movie, but it's they're wasted quips because they're on Patrick Wilson, the brother Orm, who doesn't understand any of the references.
Yeah.
So they're kind of wasted. Yeah. But I mean, like there's one where he says, "Yeah, come on, beer and tacos," and he's like, "I don't know what those words mean," and like I guess that's the joke because he's literally a fish out of water.
Yeah.
My other one was a pretty mess of CGI and acting. And what I mean by that is the movie is visually pretty, right? There's a lot of pretty colors. You have a really pretty actor in Jason Momoa. Amber Heard, for all her insaneness as a human, is a beautiful woman. But it's also a mess. She's a terrible actress. I mean, she's not good in this at all. She's not believable. As a mother, she is completely unbelievable as a mom in this. I believe Jason Momoa as a dad way more than him. And especially Boba Fett there. I thought he was fine. Honestly, he's probably one of the better actors in the movie.
But when they give them exposition, when they're sitting on the couch at the beginning of the movie talking, that is painful. That is literally painful to watch.
Yeah, I didn't bother me. I in fact, here's the problem though. I don't even remember the scene because you saying that, I'm trying to remember them ever talking on the couch. Like I don't remember. So obviously that's not very good because I don't remember the scene, and I watched this less than 24 hours ago.
You want to? Sorry, you want to know some of the worst CGI? And because we're talking about well, you're not really talking about CGI here, but I saw the picture and it just triggered me. Where he's chained, the brother is chained, and he stands up, and these chains and his body, it's all CGI. It's awful. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
that just was triggered.
The worst CGI moment for me is, and I don't remember where it was, but there was a scene where Nicole Kidman she's talking, she's delivering dialogue, and I guess they had to CGI her face because Nicole Kidman is in like her 60s now, right? Right? She's like 60s.
I think she's had some work done. I think that's what we're seeing, man.
She definitely has.
She has work done, which is fine, but like she's still 60. But the mom is supposed to be immortal, right? She's supposed to look the exact same as she did in the first movie. And instead of just letting her be her normal self and we just accept it as she's an actress, of course she's going to look different. They CGI'd her face, and there's a couple of moments where her face like elongates. And there's this one scene where she's talking, and she looks like a dude because she has like a square jawline, and her chin is like squared off. I mean, it was like Clone Wars cartoon moment where I was like, oh, I'm talking to Anakin Skywalker with blonde hair. Like there was a couple moments like that where I thought, what is happening? Like Leia from Rogue One looks flawless compared to what was happening. And I both all of us kind of saying like, it was a little janky. This was bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate this movie.
Oh my gosh, this is not what I expected tonight.
I didn't hate.
I expected Sean to jump on board with this thing, and I expected to defend this thing.
No, I think this movie is bad. I really do think this is a bad movie. I think I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. What Marvel figured out was what you do is you pick a genre, right? You pick a genre, and then you build the superhero around it, right? Best example, Captain America Civil War. It's a spy movie.
Yeah, spy thriller.
And then you add in the stuff, right? Iron Man is a redemption story. He gets kidnapped, and it's just kind of a redemption story. And then you add in the suits, right? You can pick the other ones. You know, the Guardians is just a space opera. It's just Star Wars, right? It's just a space opera. But this movie doesn't know what it is the problem.
No.
Right? It's a revenge story, but it's also a buddy cop, and also the fish out of water trope, and also
a guy learning to be a dad.
A little bit about that, yeah. I'm trying to think. We have those tropes. There's a lot of tropes. Yeah, the dad, being a dad trope. The like you mentioned, the tech that's 4,000 years old, and Randall Park says in one throwaway line of dialogue, I was able to make it all work with just a couple modifications. What? I feel like in modern, like I feel like if we as a society found tech that was 1,000 years old, it would take us longer than a couple of weeks to make it work.
Right.
It just anyway, but it's movies complex. You need the bad guys need to have whatever. So the movie never really settles into what it's supposed to be. It is very frenetic. We have the escape scene. We have we have a Popeye moment where he touches water, and all of a sudden he's big, strong, muscly Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson, man, he was in good shape, so good for him. We have the seedy bar, casino place that we have to go to, and have a big fight there. So like this movie is just nothing but tropes. And they bothered me, sure, because it felt lazy and just kind of cheesy, and it was incredibly predictable. And to your point, Sam, there's no stakes because, like in the first Aquaman gets his ass kicked because he's not used to fighting underwater, and Patrick Wilson was born there. Like he gets his butt kicked, and he has to go and like train or something, right? But in the movie, even though the bad guy is better equipped, he never really loses. The only person that any threat to is Amber Heard when she gets hit by the laser, but then they just put some seats on her and she's fine.
Right.
It's not like she is out of the movie, or whatever. And there's so many ex machinas in this movie. I mean, she shows up right as the thing's about to come down. The baby's about to get stabbed, and then the trident comes and knocks the blade out. I mean, there's like 5 moments of this in this movie where like, oh no, something's bad about to happen, and you just know as the audience like something's going to happen in the nick of time, because why not? Like if this is the last of the DCEU movies, then give us something, right? Like let's have some. I mean, not even the dad doesn't die.
Right. And I kind of thought maybe they would let him die. And I was like, well, okay, there's a little bit of, stakes here, but no.
No, like that's fine. The only emotion I felt at all in the movie was there was kind of a neat moment when the baby does the call to the dad, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna get this kind of like Papa Bear moment, and we kind of did, and it was fine. But anyway, and also because the movie is so ridiculous and crazy and frenetic, that last scene, where they're Mantis walks into the room and he needs the blood of one of the whatever, and he's got the baby, and then Randall Park hands him the bomb. For like 5 minutes of that scene, my wife and I couldn't figure out if they were underwater or not.
Yeah,
there's shit floating in the air.
Yeah,
like I guess it's snow. She's like, why? How is there fire underwater? And then they show, Randall Park, and I'm like, wait. Are they underwater? Like, I'm confused. But then there's a scene, and then they're fighting, and then Momoa's hair is flowing. Like, what has happened? The movie can't establish, because they never show us going from water to not water.
Yep.
So like, you don't even establish that. So I was confused.
I think
to be confused.
I think I found your picture of Nicole Kidman. So if you go to the IMDb pictures and you look at 179 out of 250.
All right.
Her hair is CGI. Her crown is CGI. And because of that, her face looks really weird. I think maybe that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah, that picture is frightening.
It is. I mean, it looks nothing like her.
No.
And her face, like you said, her face is it looks elongated because of the CGI crown.
Yeah, I think it's because of her mouth is CGI too. That doesn't look like her mouth.
Yeah,
like I'm telling you, that's Justice League, Superman, weird mouth stuff happening. If you guys remember that. Like, it doesn't look like Nicole Kidman. I'm serious. Like, listening audience, you have to do this. Go to IMDb, pull your phone out, whatever. Go to IMDb. You hit just where the photo of the logo. What's am I trying to say? The poster, the movie poster. You just click that. That's where you get the photos, and then just navigate to 179 of 250. I just, that doesn't look like Nicole Kidman.
Right.
I don't know who it does look like, but it's not her. It's awful. That's not the scene, but it's something similar to that.
Yeah.
It just so janky. Ugh, I can't look at it anymore. It's just so weird.
She looks like a man. I mean,
she does.
Yeah.
If you put your hand, I'm doing this on my screen right now, over the hair and the crown, and just focus on the eyes, nose, and mouth.
Yeah.
That's
oh
my gosh.
Like William Dafoe or something. Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
With makeup on. I could see it.
I don't know why they did that to her. She should sue somebody.
Yeah. Agreed.
For making like that.
Plastic surgeon.
One of the other, I don't think that's plastic surgery. I really don't.
Well,
I mean,
I think she's had work done.
She has had work done. I'm saying she hasn't.
Yeah. But you're right. This is just bad all over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find recent pictures. All right, so I found a couple of recent photos of her, and yeah, she's had work done, and it doesn't look great. But it's not that bad. Of course, this one photo I found it. Ooh.
One thing I always misunderstood, or why does Aquaman choose a seahorse to be his stallion? Because they are really poor swimmers,
right?
You have to ask the creator of the comic, I guess.
Not to mention in the scene where they're chasing, it's like the great chase scene underwater. they swim so fast they don't need the sharks. They swim faster than those weird mechanical sharks that they had anyway. So I'm like, why are they even dealing with it?
I feel like they
to sell a toy.
The thing that the MCU did really, really well is they created the universe in which the characters lived. And you didn't just care about the character, but you cared about everything that's around them.
Yeah.
And the universe also felt real. And I know that DC is a little more fantastical. And you do have to suspend disbelief a little. But I feel like we didn't do a good job of world building and setting up the character. Even though we had a previous movie and this is the sequel, I still feel like even in the first movie, we didn't really find out exactly, like you said earlier, we don't know exactly what his powers are. We don't know, exactly how he can communicate with how can he use the sea life to, I don't know. But there's just so much that we don't know about the character that I don't care about him. And it's always been the joke when it comes to DC that Aquaman is kind of the character that nobody cares about because his powers are in the ocean and he can't really do much on land. Or at least that's what we thought.
Yeah. But how great would it have been if he slowly loses his power on land, yet that's where he has to go, like to defeat the volcano, it would. They need to nerf these guys in some shape or form. There needs to be stakes, and there never is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to defend the movie a little bit, which feels uncomfortable. They do that, right? So Patrick Wilson is, he's weakened because of the lack of water, right? So the movie is establishing these dudes need water in order to be strong, which is why he was Fires Club skinny, right? They need the water, which is why as soon as he hits, once that wave hits him, then he turns back into Hulk and he's fine. And then later in the movie, Patrick Wilson again is getting his ass kicked by the big squid monster robot thing, and he keeps trying to dive into the water so he can basically,
recharge,
get near the sun, right? He's trying to get to that he's trying to get that water, and they won't let him. Like, she grabs him and then throws him back onto the land. So the movie is doing that. The movie is trying to show us that they do need water. And from what I read from the trivia in the comic books, Aquaman can't survive out of water for more than an hour. Now, Justice League comes around and he's out of water the whole movie. So he has no problem. So Justice League establishes that, yeah, he's fine out of water because he was basically born there. So I don't know if the movies change that lore or not. And another thing I'll defend, to Andrew's point, I don't want to go Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3 midi-chlorians and explain everything.
Well, I agree.
No, but you can be smart about it. I mean, it's pretty common knowledge when you see the guy without water why he's but at least give us a time frame, give us something where that maybe Aquaman is starting to feel weak while he's over there and does a Popeye moment where he dumps water on himself, or just do something to show it. Do something to.
I'm just saying the world building
is bad.
You're not wrong. The world building is lacking. It's just go from scene to scene to scene, and the problem is that all of the places that we visit are either unrealistic or humans have never been there underneath the polar ice caps in Antarctica, which is rock. It's Earth. So I'm confused. You know what I'm saying?
It's about grounding, I think, and grounding us in a character that the whole idea of seeing it through somebody's eyes, like we see it for the first time. We kind of were in the first Aquaman. We are Aquaman is that, right? He's introducing us to this underwater world. Maybe somehow, as the stupid scientist guy, maybe it was a way to ground it, or just I don't know. It was so boring. It was just, it was dumb. It was dumb.
Yeah.
My point was simply that I'm okay with not knowing how he summons fish. I'm okay not knowing how he does that. I don't really care. I just wish he would have done it more. I mean, when he finally did it at the end to use sonic wave powers to destroy the Hammerhead sub, I was like, oh, you finally are using that power. That there's only two things we know about Aquaman. He lives underwater and he can talk to fish. So you finally used one half of your powers that we're aware of. So good job.
Even that though, I had problems with. Like, I mean, I get what they were doing, but I feel like if you summon that many whales and orcas and all these fish, they are going to be way more powerful than the submarine combined. They could push this thing down to the bottom of the ocean if they wanted
and squish it,
it, something. But yet we just sing to it. I don't know.
Weird.
And blow it up with a mine or something.
I see in this movie a writer's room that has run out of ideas, and that was either put together way too quickly or just are not creatives like they should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I know DC has books and stories and ideas they could have taken from, and maybe they did. But I would guess that the comic books are at least a little more interesting than this one. If anything, to take visuals from to give us that wow factor, because even in some of the visuals, it just was not. The cinematography was bad. It just wasn't there to awe, inspire, or amaze us.
And this listeners might find this. They may disagree with me. I don't know. You guys might disagree with me. But I feel like if you have to resort to 90% or more of your movie being CGI, just go ahead and make it an animated movie.
Right.
And then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like a lot of the DCEU would have been better as an animated movie. I don't know. There's something about watching live action characters in a CGI world that it makes it hard for you to connect with it really well, unless it's done well. A lot of Star Wars is CGI. The Mandalorian is not CGI, but it's all done. It's not practical. Like, they're not on location. A lot of it's done in a studio. But it's all believable.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, and I'm going to expound on it. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a lot of CGI in that. You have a tree that's not physically there, and you have a raccoon that's obviously not there either.
Right.
But characters feel real, and the fact also that there's actually something there, right? Even though if it is, Sean Gunn pretending to be Rocket, and what they did for Groot, for the original Groot, if there was a stand-in or something. But those all feel real. They feel like real things. And we're in space. And maybe because we've seen space movies for the last 30 years, it's more believable than underwater movies. I don't know. But I don't really want to defend this movie. I do. I think but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate my time, and I'm not annoyed that Andrew suggested we do this movie over the Batman. I'm fine with it. I really am fine with this. There were scenes that made me laugh. I had some laugh out loud moments.
I don't think I did at all.
I had a couple. I can't think of them right now off the top of my head for some reason. I mean, Andrew, I had way more laugh out loud moments last week with Lightning Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Sam, have you ever heard of that movie, by the way? Like,
No, I have not.
Never heard of it either, but this is one of Andrew's like youth guilty pleasures. And
Nice.
I'm so glad we watched it. It was fun. I had a fun time with it. So,
and it's short.
And it's short. It's an hour and a half. Yeah. So, I'm not saying you should watch it, but if you have an hour, and just want to know what we experienced,
I swear I've seen it though, a long time ago.
Like Crocodile Dundee, you'll like. If you hate Crocodile Dundee, then you would hate this. Okay, I'm gonna pull. I pulled a few clips, so we're gonna do clips here. But I do tell this fun story that has absolutely nothing to do with anything we're talking about. But I wanted to tell the story because this is something that neither one of you will be surprised that I did. This is something very me. Okay, so listening to the radio on the way into work today, local radio station show called Woody and Wilcox Show. And on Wednesdays, what he does was called Woody Game Wednesday, and he picks whatever day, a national day of something. He picks that day and then makes a ridiculous game of it. And it's an audio game, so it's like, so today's game was today is the however many year anniversary of the fall of the Alamo. And Phil Collins is a huge collector of Alamo memorabilia and historical.
By the way, I was there last summer, and the museum they've got on site.
Yeah,
he has donated so much stuff to that museum. Yeah. It's amazing, and not only that, he voices like the voiceover and the narrations, and it's really, really cool. I had no idea, but you're right. Yeah, he's a big contributor to Alamo stuff. Yep.
And like half the stuff that he's donated back to the museum is just stuff he found.
Yeah.
He's just walking around and kicks some dirt and goes, "Oh, look, there's a bayonet or something," right? So the game was about, famous fills, right? And the guy plays audio, famous fills. But my point was, he's describing what the Alamo is, right? What he is describing the Alamo, and said the Alamo is where Senator Davy Crockett, or Congressman David Crockett, and David Bowie, and I forgot the third guy's name, defended against the forces of Santana. And I was like, what?
Santana.
The guitar player from the 80s and 90s. So I message the show. I go on Facebook and I message the show, and I'm like, I know history isn't your forte, but I don't think that. Let's see. I don't think that the guitar player from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, Santana, was the leader of the Mexican army. Santa Ana was, like the town that he was named for, or that was named after. And the show messages me back, "Hey, it's Woody, who went to college at Santa Ana Junior College and should know better."
Nice.
So the fact that someone said something incorrect, history related, on air, and I had to correct them, is obviously something that I would do, and I did. So I just wanted to share that story. Yeah. So all right, time for some clips. Here we go. Here's the first one.
What are we doing for comms?
Open comms are too risky. I'll be sending a cephalopod with you to act as a messenger.
That's an octopus.
Tactical operations and pursuit operative. Topo, for short. Genetically engineered intelligence for infiltration and espionage. He also plays a variety of musical instruments.
Just try and lay it low when we get in there, okay? We might be invisible, but your hectocolis is starting to smell like warm chum butter. Oh, Topo, don't squint. Oh, come on. Is ink piss?
I did chuckle at that a little bit.
Yeah, he gets
is ink piss.
Is ink piss? Which he didn't get ink, but it was
right.
The other thing I found interesting. So I honestly don't know this. Legit, don't know this. Do octopuses make noise?
No, they do not.
So, and I asked that question because did you guys ever see the Penguins of the Madagascar movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And a giant octopus is Dave, the octopus, is the main villain, and all of the other little octopuses that work for him as henchmen, they all make the noises that this octopus is making. So either that movie just made it up and this movie's copying it, or octopuses actually make that noise. I mean,
I'm no octopus expert, but I'm pretty sure it's not a thing.
By the way, they're arguing, they're saying, wait a minute, octopuses actually is a correct plural form of octopus.
Yeah, it's
not octopi. Yeah,
it can be, but octopuses is also correct. I learned that through one of the word games that Sarah plays. Anyway, here's a pop culture reference.
Come on, Castaway. Grab Wilson, let's roll.
Grab Wilson and let's roll. Obviously, he doesn't know what that means, but it's funny to us. There you go.
See? True king built the bridges.
That's a metaphor! Hey! I forgot to tell you, Mom actually loved you. She about you all the time.
You guys can't hear me? Or you can't?
Now we can.
Yeah, you. It's like you're when we play Fortnite, you warm up to the
right, so
to the mic
that's
as
exactly
you come
what
in.
it's like.
Wait a second before I start talking.
Sure.
See, my fear is that if you guys can't hear me, that means that the recording can't hear me.
Oh, really?
Because when I do YouTube, I'm just pulling from this.
That's not a good thing.
The audio podcast is fine, but for YouTube, so I will
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah,
that means I have to do work. All right.
We must be getting close to the radiation source.
You should wait for Atlantis to receive your message. We can conduct reconnaissance in the meantime.
Yeah, look, Loki, I'm not asking for your advice on this. You've already lived up to your end of the deal. So you can go on back to Azkaban for all I care.
So what's your plan?
I don't have one yet.
So we got a Loki reference and a Harry Potter reference.
Yeah.
I was surprised by the Loki reference. Harry Potter is owned by Warner Brothers, so that's not surprising. But
Well, I think Loki used in the Greek god sense and not the Marvel sense, probably. But knowing that, Loki is pop culture right now.
Yeah. This is a strange pull. Here we go.
Hey, really doesn't like you, does he?
I like.
You like Gimli?
I like Gimli. Oh my gosh. And I like him. And when he said that, it reminded me of this.
I do not like you!
So.
Yeah.
And the last one, I literally captured this one and titled it Gimli, because this is a very Gimli thing to say.
It goes all the way through. My men and I can deal with these worms. Go now to save the prince.
Thank you.
Come on, you spineless worms.
That sounds like Gimli. I mean, I know it's the same actor. It's obviously John Rhys Davies.
Right. Yeah.
But I know it's John Rhys Davies, but still, it's Gimli.
Yeah.
All right, time for this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Oh boy, what kind of game does Andrew have for us today?
I'm watching this and I'm like, how in the heck is Andrew going to pick things from this thing?
Okay, well, they're not great. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. All right, so here's number one. Who's going first?
I'll go first. Oh, yeah, this game.
Sean.
There we go. There you go.
Did you notice? Yes. Sean going first here. All right. So, what is the name of the boat that the pirates get on and attack there at the beginning of the movie?
I almost captured that part too. It begins with like an S, like this. It's the Samson or the son of a bitch, something like that.
Yes, sure could. No. Sam.
It would be the Sea Beast.
All right. Well, Sean was closer. It is the Sawyer 2.
Sawyer 2.
The Sawyer 2. All right, Sam, this is your question. While Aquaman is playing with his action figures and talking to his dad, a license plate can be seen on the wall. What does the plate read?
The wall.
It reads AFK 2020.
AFK. Yeah, the visual artists were AFK. That's
yeah.
I don't know. Aloha.
It says Hunk 357.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a California license tag, just in case you're curious.
I was.
Okay. So Randall Park's character, this is your question, Sean. Randall Park's character, Dr. Stephen Quinn, does his expedition logs. He does 2 of them.
Yeah.
What number is the first one? He says expedition log number something, something, something. It's 3 numbers.
You mean exposition log?
I thought he was he saying exposition?
No, he says expedition. I'm saying exposition because it's only there to forward the plot.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You confused me for a moment.
Log 135. Today we ate ice cream.
Yeah. So is that your number? Is that your guess? All right. Sam?
I would guess, is it 463?
It is. 463.
Good job.
On the dot.
Episode number. How fun.
What was the other one? Did you write that one down?
Oh, no, I didn't write down the other one. I just remember the first one.
Because he mentioned it twice. The second one was 600 and something.
600, yeah.
Yeah, I should have asked that one.
I want to bring up is the henchman. Like, Randall Park is the only one that goes, hey, we're destroying the earth, right? Like, I understand you're the boss, but like, we're trying to kill everyone and we don't understand.
Yeah, what's in it for the henchmen? They never really.
And nobody else says, that's a baby that you're about to stab, right?
It's very strange. They're just, like, where did he even get these henchmen? I don't understand. But...
Yeah. Okay. Question number 4. This one's Sam's.
Okay.
How many goldfish are in the aquarium that the baby is manipulating?
You know, I was thinking of this last night. Oh God. I want to say there is there 5 goldfish?
There are 5.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 because it's 1.
It was either 5 or 6. I couldn't remember, but yeah, I think the reason I said 5 is because I remember 1 in the middle.
Yeah, because they pyramided up. Yeah,
they pyramid.
Yeah. So you win, Sam.
Yeah.
By default here. The other question literally was, and I can show you this, but I'm just going to read it. How many times did Andrew almost turn this movie off? That was the other question, literally.
Well, you did it at least once. We know that.
Well, I did, once. But I mean, there were several times, guys, that I'm going to have to be honest. Like, I wanted to just turn it off.
Yeah. Well, it's just so. It's the same thing over and over again. I mean, listen. I wouldn't wish this on my nearest enemy, but watching it again, you will notice just how monotonous this movie is. Yeah. With music, with action, it's not good.
No.
It's not good.
Yeah. I don't disagree. It's a bad movie, but I don't hate it as much as you guys did. But I mean, I would rather watch this again than Wonder Woman 2.
I mean, I'm not saying Wonder Woman 2 was that much better, but it at least developed some interesting ideas.
So here's a thought. There is a villain character in the DC world. His name is King Shark. Right?
Wasn't he in Suicide Squad?
He was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Can Aquaman control him?
I don't know if you can probably talk to him, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought about that.
I don't know. All right. Time for something. This. This is where we're going to give this movie a score. Boy, this is going to be interesting. We're going to give this movie a score from 0 to 10. And yeah, we start with Andrew. And yeah, let's see where we go from here.
So from IMDb, we have a 5.7 is what our audience is saying on IMDb. I don't think I can go that high. No, I'm going to give this a 3.2 Kingfish Martin Short's character boobies out of 10. 3.2. By the way, his character in this movie really bothered me because I felt like it was stupid. And he has large breasts for a male fish.
They were awfully droopy, didn't they?
Yeah. Sam.
I also agree with Andrew that I think I'm going to go lower than IMDb, and I'm going to give it a 2.75 fish sticks out of 10.
That's fun. Okay. I can't really argue with those scores.
I mean, this isn't rubber, right? This isn't. We're not putting this in the basement, but it's getting close.
I am surprised that it didn't garner like a 1 from either one of these.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.3, just a little bit above Andrew because I liked it a little bit more. But like it might have felt like I was defending this movie, and I was a little bit, but that was mostly just because I wanted to have a podcast where it wasn't just all three of us shitting on this
bashing.
It's a bad movie, but I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. It just it's bad. It's a bad movie, and I feel bad for Jason Momoa and all of the people that work in DC. It's just like, you guys deserve better. I mean, Marvel went through the bad stuff, right? They went through Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four 2 and Blade 3 and Spider-Man 3. Like, they went through that. Marvels. And that's all before.
Right, I know.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Marvels yet. I'm looking forward to at some point, maybe this summer. I know we have a lot of traveling going on, usually with Sam this summer, but like maybe we'll do a Marvel month and catch up on the Marvel stuff because there's a lot of Marvel stuff I haven't caught up on. Anyway, that's it. That gives us a grand total, by the way, of 3.08.
That's about right.
So, yeah, I think that's probably a pretty fair score. And I'm scrolling back, scrolling up. It's been a minute since we've had anything down in the 3s.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we were kind of due to have something like this, I would think.
Yeah, I think we were. We've had a couple 4s I keep scrolling. Oh, here we go. The last time something beneath that was episode.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Episode 350. And that was
more than 100 ago.
It was what?
Thunder Force.
Oh, yeah.
Thunder Force. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. And then before that, Star Wars Episode 2 got a 3.75. In the 3s.
Nice.
Yeah. There we go. All right. That's it. That's our show. Thank you all so much for listening. Next week, we continue with DCEU movies. Shazam 2.
Okay.
Shazam.
So go watch Shazam 1. You're all familiar with what's going on. And then we'll watch Shazam 2. And yeah. But before you do all that, go to our website, cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com. There you can find links to all our social media, as well as go to our YouTube page, which would be awesome. Be like a couple of coworkers of mine and like and subscribe to the show, which would be super helpful. We could always use the extra whatever. Also, just leave us reviews wherever you can. It'll help the show. And that's it. That's all I have to say about that. So on behalf of Sam and Andrew and all of the fish in the sea, this is Sean saying thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you next week for Shazam 2.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.